everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I am Hexabeast, just Hex is fine. And today I am, shock of all shocks, not playing Thrall. Uh,
You are free.
I am free for today, except
For
not
now.
quite, except not quite, because I'm playing someone who is Thrall adjacent. Which is my personal hell. It's fine.
You did this to yourself.
I did.
I gently pet you.
I am playing Graves, who some folks might have seen if they've listened to the Carnival games, but, yeah, I'm playing a spooky bug little bug ringmaster, and I am joined today by two people. If you could introduce yourselves,
Hello.
that would be great.
Okay. Hi. My name is Artist of Obsession, also known as Obby, and today I'm going to be playing my vampire boy, Cassius.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good
He's
lord.
gonna have a
Hi.
time.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure fucking is. It's fine, it's cool, it's chill. Hi, I'm Lewis, the local virus of the Toonkind server. Surprisingly, I'm playing also a local virus of the bottomless heights now.
Yeah.
Simon is here. Simon is here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. This
End of the sentence.
Yeah, this FPS is called A Moth to a Flame, and also Simon is here.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. It's great. That's kind of just what he does now, is he tags along wherever Cassius goes.
Yeah.
And right now Cassius is in Bottomless Heights, which is having some shenanigans and bullshittery go down.
Oh yeah.
And he's been researching some stuff, trying to get somewhere, if I'm remembering my lore correctly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. He's been trying to get somewhere.
He's attempted to like go back to someplace he remembers a little bit.
Yeah. And
Just a little bit.
It's kind of hazy. It's kind of dreamlike. Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha.
I can't fucking believe this.
Which I guess kind of makes sense because Cassius, you've been staying in Bottomless Heights for a bit. This bit of bullshittery has gone down, and then you recall going to bed in your hotel room, and then when you wake up, you are not there anymore.
This is not your beautiful apartment.
This is not your beautiful apartment. This is not your beautiful hotel room. You are, in fact, in the forest of Bottomless Heights. You know these woods pretty well, actually.
Considering
Many things.
Being a camp counselor certainly does help with that.
Yes, it does. So you acutely know remember, what the fuck am I doing out here?
Yeah.
And also in the same spirit of our title card, hey, you've got a buddy with you.
Yeah,
well, he's
don't know
used
what
to that.
this
He's used
is.
to the buddy.
You don't know what this is. This is a weird creature.
Look at that weird ass thing.
You've never seen this thing before.
That is true. I feel like Cassius takes a moment to adjust to the surroundings. Looks at where. All right, so he's here. Where's Simon? Oh God, what is that? And he's looking down at this little worm thing, which is still Simon. It's still Simon, but also Cassius has never seen Simon like this form before.
I'm just imagining Simon looking around and being like, "Hey, where the fuck are we, Cassius? What are you looking
Just
at?"
looks down at him and he's just staring.
Simon does a head tilt.
Aww.
What?
I feel like Cassius also does the head tilt before he just puts both hands on his face and rubs it.
Okay, so first of all, Simon looks like that. Cassius also looks a little different, Simon.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
I wonder what I wonder why Cassius looks like.
yeah, I wonder.
Uh-huh.
He
I
he's got a
do.
couple
I
of
do have a little doodle.
you do have a little
I'm gonna
doodle.
put it.
He's got a couple of
Mhm.
I do have
different
a little doodle.
features going on here. The usual red has been replaced by some blue. He's got a little fluff, and he seems to have some antenna poking out his head.
Uh-huh.
And his eyes are black. What you gonna do with this information, Simon?
Simon looks directly at Cassius. There is a bit of silence, and then suddenly, you're a little muff boy.
I'm. What?
Look at yourself. You got fluff.
What do you? Like Cassius is just sitting here like that is not what I expected. Hello? And like it's just there's just like the beat of silence before Cassius is like feeling at the little bit of fluff around his neck and notices the antenna and he's just like, oh no. What?
I would like to,
I would say
know.
he wait a second, I have to do it for the game because I
Yes.
thought of doing it.
Oh,
That barely works. Okay. He pulls out a mirror and then remembers he doesn't have a reflection.
Oh, I picked the worst time to drink coffee. Thank you.
So there's just like the longest groan from this vampire, and he's just shoving it back in his hammer space, and he's like, okay, what happened? Where? Ah!
so
He has
I would
no
like you
idea
to
what
know.
he looks like.
Mhm.
He has no idea what he looks like right now.
Obby. Simon is very
Yeah?
small. Simon is not climbing on Cassius.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, he is.
No, you're not. Cassius is immediately picking you off and
Go
putting you
for
on the
it.
ground like, no, you are
No.
do
Roll
not.
dexterity, Simon.
Hold on. Oh, what is Simon's dexterity?
Remember, you've been.
Is
You're...
Do I roll a save?
No, a check.
Fuck.
Yeah, yep. Cassius grabs you.
No.
You are grabbed, you are set on the ground, and Cassius is starting to storm away.
You are the little skittering behind you.
Skitter.
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 Hey, well, hey, both of you roll me some quick perceptions. And,
Cool.
yeah, Lewis, remember, you get to use the higher level sheet.
Can I?
Yeah!
Oh boy.
Fucked up.
Yeah!
Oh no.
Thank you so much.
Yeah!
Can I just use my passive perception, or do I gotta roll for
you
it?
can use your passive, because you're not, actively listening. This
Oh,
is
I
just
forgot
something...
Cool.
Boom.
Damn! Alright!
Fuck yeah, baby.
Hell yeah, nice. Okay.
He's
Cassius
perceiving.
Yeah. What's Cassius's passive again?
It's 15.
That's right. Okay, so that is enough. Okay. So, Simon definitely hears it. Cassius hears faintly something in the distance. It's melodical. There's a rhythm to it, so you can conclude that you hear music of some kind. Simon, you hear carnival music.
Oh, cool.
It's
Cool.
coming like ahead of you guys. But then like with a 24, Simon, you kind of realize no matter what direction you seem to skitter, the music always seems to just come from ahead of you.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is fine and not a problem in any case.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you two make your way through the trees, no matter which direction you try to go, yeah, you hear this music. Cassius, what do you do with that information real quick?
I feel like as soon as Cassius has the realization that no matter what direction he's going, that music is still playing, he's just pausing and he's stopping because he doesn't like that.
That's fair.
He doesn't like that.
That's fair. Roll me a wisdom save, Cassius.
Oh no.
Oh, cool.
Cool wisdom save. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Oh gosh, am I using the right sheet? I am using the right sheet. Okay. Cool.
It's fine, school.
Boop, 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 boop.
Fuck.
20.
Damn. All right. Shit. Yeah. All right. So
Cassie
you-
said no.
no. Which is
No, I
good.
don't think so.
Yeah. No, I don't wanna. Which is good because yeah, you definitely feel something trying to tug you that way.
Mm.
You feel something trying to draw you in.
Cassius is going to do he's just gonna stop, he's gonna fold his arms, and he's gonna sit down on the ground.
FPS over. Cassius said no.
There is nothing more to this.
This is what he do.
I know, it's great.
Not move.
God.
Simon just looks at him, skitters over to be in front of him, like, you're not gonna investigate?
I do not like this. I'm going to stay right here until whatever this is over.
Just sit in silence for a second. Simon is in fact going to try and climb on you again.
No, do not. You are once again getting trying to pick you up and put you on the ground again.
It's
Do
gonna-
not.
The second you pick him up, he's going to do poor little meow meow eyes.
Cassius is not swayed.
No,
No.
I want the lap.
No.
Poor little meow meow, I'm a little cat.
God.
You're being put on the ground at arm's length away from this boy.
No.
He's not having it.
God. Hey, Simon, what's your passive?
Uh-oh. Passive perception?
Yes.
Cool, that's a 15.
Oh, both of you. Okay, cool. You weren't alone.
Oh no.
You feel. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. I needed to grab it. I needed to grab
That's
it.
the most casual way you could have put that.
Yeah, you're not alone. You hear the little beat. You hear the tiny little beat of wings, because something seems to be something seems to be flittering around your head, Cassius.
Oh,
I think you know what it is because you just drew it.
I did. I have it. If you want me to slap it in the.
I grabbed it. I've grabbed it already. I'm waiting. So,
Okay. Yeah. Cassius like one of his ears flicks once he notices like the little beating of wings, and he looks up and he jumps.
Yep. Because yeah.
There's just the over exaggerated like Toonish, and he like jumps back and falls on the ground.
Because this thing is, you look up and it was right in front of you, just kind of staring. Looks like a little baby. It looks like a little baby. It's a familiar
Little
looking
baby bug.
It's a little baby bug. It's got 4 little fluttering
Baby
wings.
bug.
It's got some nubbins. It's cute.
Oh.
That mask on its face looks damn familiar, Cassius.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does, and Cassius hates that.
Yeah. Giving you a little tongue blep because that's adorable and I love it.
Oh. Hey, yo, what the fuck is that?
Okay, this is the next bit. Cassius hates this thing in particular. He's grabbing Simon, and he's moving away from this thing.
I think, you know, like, when you like grab a cat suddenly when he was just chilling on the ground and he just does a little meow. Simon does that with a
I'm so glad.
Simon is being held, but at what cost?
But at what cost? He got what he wanted, but at what cost? So, Cassius, you're running. You, I mean, I said it before, no matter what direction you run, the music grows louder.
Yeah.
And it seems like every time you progress forward, the trees seem to thin, and then you turn around and you try to go a different way, and they thin even more.
What a
This
great
place
fucking
doesn't
start.
make sense.
So, eventually...
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It sucks. And eventually, even as you're trying to outrun this little bug, which is following you, you leave the trees, you see light through the trees, and it's a blue light that is very similar in color to your, well, Simon would know that it's very similar in color to your little moth antenna. There are sconces and a very wide fence going around, and as you guys are basically coming to the edge of this forest against your will,
Yeah.
you see the entrance of a carnival, and the walls are high around it. They're made of a mix of cloth and wood. It's not like they're tall enough to keep things, in or out. It's just like a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
The tents inside they all rise above the wall so that you can see, yep, that's a lot of tents in there. There's lights and music. You can hear laughter and screams inside, and the center of it all is one very, very massive tent that you assume to be center stage, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there you see like a couple of other people entering this carnival, and you see people inside, and it's all smiling faces. And again, Cassius, you feel that tug telling you to go in.
His running school is chill.
Man. Do you know like that feeling where you want to get someplace so badly and then you're finally there and now you have no idea what to do now that you've made it?
Yep.
Cassius is just going over a whole roller coaster of emotions with that general feeling at the center.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna roll inside for a second. Oh god.
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah.
21. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
yeah.
fine to have a plus 11.
I told Lewis to use the other sheet. So.
You
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah, you did.
I did. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, Simon definitely gets the whole roller coaster of emotions that Cassius is going through. It's kind of like a mixture of, oh, finally this place, and oh, finally this place.
I feel like Simon just lifts his head to look at Cassius and just knocks on his cheek with his little tiny hand.
Headbutt.
Just like, pat, pat.
Bonk. Like, bonk, bonk. You good there?
I think like Cassius is like shaking out of whatever he was doing, and he goes like, "Don't touch me."
I'm gonna touch you all I want.
You're still holding him,
you're-
Cassius.
No, you're not. He's still holding Simon out at like arm's length.
Listen,
And like I
he's
think
bigger than a cat. He's like dog size. It can still
Big
reach
dog.
you.
Hold on,
Reaches to you with its tail.
hold on. Can Cassius even technically hold you?
Yeah.
You don't know this boy's strength score.
I'm gonna
listen.
Lewis says yes, so I'll say yes.
It's a fucky wucky world.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair enough.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Don't worry about
I'm
it.
gonna say that, like, as like Cassius is just arguing with Simon, his feet are kind of going in a direction without him realizing.
Yes. Good. I love it.
He's like not thinking about like not going in, so
I love
Mhm.
it.
he's going in because the pull is pulling him.
Yeah. And his feet are just kind of taking him somewhere in this carnival. And as you guys walk, with your passives, if Cassius is even paying attention.
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay.
He's just like trying to get Simon to stop poking him.
Simon, are you paying
And he's
attention at
not
all to your surroundings?
Simon's
Or...
worse than his siblings.
I feel like it's pretty easy to bother Cassius. Simon's got the hang of it, so yes, he is also paying attention because it's new and familiar place.
Okay, so as you guys are being walked into the carnival, Simon, you notice a couple of things. One, there are a lot of people here. You know, what you would expect to find at a carnival.
Yeah.
They're all for the vibes that this place has, which is generally kind of spooky, like low-key spooky, people seem they seem pretty happy about it. Like, the screams aren't screams of like horror. They're the lighthearted screams of, you know, people in a haunted house or on a roller coaster having fun being scared. And as the other thing you notice is that all of the workers in this carnival are, one, they're all Hausentoons. Yep. They're all bug-like Hausentoons, and they all wear masks, so you cannot see their faces.
Cool. Great. That's not comforting at all.
And they all kind of, buggle. And they all kind of match the little bug that's been following you two, because, yeah, it's still following you. And Cassius's feet seem to be taking both of you in a random direction, but you notice as you're walking, the layout seems to kind of shift and change. There's very clear, like, pathways. Like, the stalls are so tightly packed together that it's very clear there's, like, paths that you are supposed to take. And whenever Cassius kind of goes down a random one, it seems to just, like, there's just more. The wall suggested this place was a certain size, and every time he turns, there's just more.
Well, we're going deep in it, huh?
You are going deep. And that tall ringmaster's tent just keeps looming at you, growing bigger and bigger.
That's cool, that's great, that's fine, I love this.
And
I feel like
go ahead.
at some point Simon will tell Cassius to pay a little bit of attention because there's so many things everywhere.
So much is happening around.
Everything happens so much.
It does.
What do you mean pay attention? I've been paying it. Oh, where are we?
Also, I do want to say, Simon, you can roll insight actually if you want.
Sure. I don't think it'll do much, but sure.
Oh boy!
If you want.
Oh boy!
It's a 14 actually. Oh,
Hey.
that's pretty good for
I mean,
yes.
That's fine because he's not like really forcing himself to hide it or anything, but it does, like, he's looking at everything with a hint of familiarity. And for the audience, because Cassius wouldn't know that, but for the audience, it's because, like, it's kind of the same atmosphere in the virtual plane. Everything happens so much.
Everything happens so much.
Oh, it's like a little bit of nostalgia. It's like a little bit of nostalgia.
Yeah, he's used to it.
The moment Cassius has realized, oh, my feet have taken me somewhere, he's just kind of stopping himself in the middle of the carnival.
Understandable. Have a nice.
He doesn't know how he got there, so he doesn't know how to get back out, so he's just standing there.
Yeah.
He's like a poor lost child.
He is a poor lost child. Some of the workers seem to regard Cassius kind of with an air of familiarity. But they don't really, they seem to be kind of, you know, they're doing their job, so they aren't really, harassing you beyond the initials, hey, come here, have a swing at the game, or, hey, do you want, frozen lemonade, or fucking fried Twinkies, just whatever, yes, this is carnival, you get carny food, I'm sorry.
Good.
Carny food, good.
Carny food, very good.
Oh, I would love a funnel cake.
Oh, man. Give me an elephant ear, please. Anyway, so you both are kind of standing around. Let's see, what is your passive? Okay, all right, okay.
Mhm.
So, Cassius, you're still feeling that tug, and now that you are this far into the carnival, you can tell it's tugging you towards the tent, the main tent. Um, mhm. And yeah, and you're feeling this place is familiar to you. Uh, this place is so familiar to you, Cassius. How you feeling?
Oh, not great.
Not great, not doing good.
It's just the anxiety is skyrocketing.
Oh,
It's fine. It's cool. It's chill.
He's trying his best to keep it masked, because that's just how he lives by default. But also,
yeah. So as you feel that tug, it seems to get stronger. As you
especially because he's closer, I imagine.
Well, the longer you stand there, the stronger it seems to get. And then eventually, you're standing there, you're having a moment, and then you hear from one side of you, "Ah, there's my wayward little moth."
Oh my god.
The strangled sound that Cassius makes.
Oh, great.
Simon, you are not being hugged tightly.
Oh. It's fine. It's cool. It's chill.
It's like a little kid just like grabbing the stuffed animal and being like, okay.
Oh.
Unfortunately, there is no squeaky toy noise because Simon is not a toon.
Oh, damn.
We're in a dream. There's a squeaky toy noise.
Yeah. So you turn and Cassius is 6'9". He's gotta look up. Graves towers at 8 feet tall. And he stands there. Closer than you would expect. Not in your bubble, but he is closer than you would have expected him to be. And it's not a loom. I mean, it is because he can't help it. But he's standing there, arms clasped behind him. And he's just, it's that eerie, unnatural, stillness. And it's just, I wondered when you would finally heed my call.
What the fuck is that?
Like, Cassius is sitting here trying to grab at words, and then Simon says that, and then Cassius just looks down at Simon.
Simon's very confused.
Understandable. Have a nice.
Honestly, Cassius is also confused. Because call? Hello?
Yeah. Does Cassius answer who the fuck this is? It's fine if not. It just determines the next bit.
Probably not. He's probably just gonna like just quietly under his breath just go call. Like, just questioning, like, oh, what does that mean? I hate that.
Okay. So Graves' gaze turns to you, Simon, and he seems to realize, okay. And he gives a bow, a sweeping kind of flourishing bow, which fitting of the nature of this carnival, and says, "Oh, my apologies. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ringmaster Graves. I am, you might say, the owner of this carnival. And who might you be?"
He extends a very tiny little hand. Hi, Simon, local bastard.
Graves laughs a little, but he does take the little hand to shake. Like,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, no worries. Nothing wrong ever.
Ever happens here. It's fine. Everything's fine. Sorry, the mental image of Cassius just squeezing Simon, who just extends a little nubbin to shake. It's great.
Yeah. Cassius is just standing here. He's just standing here, and he's trying to like find an opportunity to leave because he doesn't want to be here anymore.
Let's see here.
Which is ironic considering he wanted this at one point.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like, let's roll. Let's see. That's a. Oh, excuse me. Just that. Damn, that's not how you type that. Okay.
That's 14. Okay.
A 14 insight.
Okay.
Because the stat block I'm using doesn't have insight as one of their proficiencies, but it's fine.
Oof.
But brain. But Graves kind of tilts his head and seems to tweak that Cassius does not want to be here. So he just he regards Cassius for a moment, and then, for someone who's been trying for a year now to find us, I'm rather surprised you seem so eager to leave.
There's just that like log drawn out pause.
Oh, don't
Simon's
think
looking at Cassius.
Oh, don't think I'm unaware of what you've been doing in the waking world now, little Moth.
Obby is dying.
No, it's fine.
He's dying.
It's okay. It's fine.
Take your time. We love you so much. Oh, good lord.
It's just like, because like Cassius's whole thing was to eventually get here, figure out what happened, and then maybe find out some way to reverse what happened to him. Now that he's here, he's nervous.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, no shit. You seen Grapes?
Understandable.
Like all whatever courage he had is gone.
Aww.
Whatever courage or spiteful energy of I need to get this fixed and you're gonna fix me.
It's gone. Yeah. I mean that fits. But oh, Cassius, baby.
He's getting gentle pats on the arms.
That's what's been driving him for the past like year and a half, and finally now that he's here, he's just like, I am going to die. I'm going to die.
Cassius, I wish I could say it's fine because it is, but oh baby.
Simon is doing his best to comfort Cassius.
Oh.
You are getting little pats on the arms, and also the tail is like circling around you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do like a little whiz save for Cassius to see if he can regain composure. That's a no.
Oh no, that's an 8.
Can you roll at advantage because Simon's helping?
You know what? I will allow it.
No, sure. Yeah.
There,
22.
Hey, 22.
That is a lot better. After a lot of awkward standing around, Cassie's just gonna clear his throat, straighten up, and he's just gonna. I've been trying to figure out a way to reverse this, and he kind of gestures, well, not at like the Moth features. At first he gestures to all of himself and then realizes, wait a second, there are some things around here that he still doesn't know about. This stuff is new. He's just gonna point at the fangs specifically.
Graves
I figured that the best way to get answers would be to come to the direct source.
That's not an incorrect way to think about it. Why don't you walk with me? Clearly we have much to discuss. And Graves is making to like sweep an arm around you, Cassius. Kind of in a, yeah, no, we're taking a walk.
Cassius immediately has like a no touch and like he sidesteps.
Mm-hmm.
He'll walk beside Graves. He's not gonna be touched. No touchy.
You know what? Understandable.
Simon is making a mental note of that, I hope you know.
Simon will remember this.
Yeah, basically, if Graves ever tries to touch Cassius, Simon is going to swat at him.
Oh, he's a protective cat. I love it.
Yeah,
Protected kitty.
Yes,
that's his physical. Back off.
I'm sorry, Simon. But anyway, Graves catches this and just makes an after you gesture. And once Cassius starts walking, he'll fall in step beside him. And as he will he doesn't let them walk in silence for too long. But you do notice as you turn another corner, it's another walkway, but this one is now clearly the backside of tents, and there really aren't people here. So,
this is where the business happens.
This is
like
where
the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, this is where you can have a talk and not be overheard by other people, other guests of the carnival. So, Graves, once you guys turn down this alley and start walking, just conversationally, I would have thought that you would have found that trying to enter the carnival is not how you would do so. Trying to force a dream usually ends in failure, dear boy.
I think there's just him quietly thinking on that and having that realization now that the obvious is pointed out. Yeah. I mean, he's gotten a whole lot of problems happen to him from trying to figure out how to force it open.
Understandable.
I cough and I look at the signal directly.
We don't look at the signal. We don't even talk about the signal.
No.
Fuck the signal.
Yeah, we don't talk about the signal.
We don't talk about the signal. No.
No.
It was a good idea at the time, except it was never a good idea in the first place.
It was never a good idea, but Cassius did not know that.
Yeah. He's just a stupid smart boy. It's both. He can be both.
He can be both, and we love him. Graves finally. I was content to let you figure it out on your own, but it would seem we need to have a talk.
I think Cassius doesn't really say much. He just does a little nod at that. He's mostly a listening kind of type of person.
Yeah.
Also, Simon is not chattering away in his head right now, and that's weird.
Yeah.
It's having that absent realization. Now it's hard to think.
His head is quiet, therefore it's hard to think, and I love that. I love that trope. It's great.
He's been wanting the quiet for so long, and now it's quiet, and now it's weird.
Yeah, Simon is not even talking right now.
Yeah. I think
he's doing nothing.
Yeah. As they've been walking, Cassius has just been absently holding Simon.
Oh,
Just
very soft.
It's just something to hold, something to, have in hands while tense stuff is happening.
My boy.
We've got a plushie now.
Yeah.
Warm mongoose plushie.
I have to stress, this is probably the only person so far in the whole entirety of Einquell that Cassius would just be comfortable, holding.
I point.
Which I hold extremely soft. I love this.
They're friends.
They sure
They're
fucking
friends.
are.
sense, even if they don't know that yet.
And there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, Simon knows.
Yeah, Vivi told him. God. But Graves kind of tweaks that Cassius is quiet and, not really engaging, and he's not gonna force it, quote unquote, but he does, after a moment, prompt, I know you have a list of questions. Why not ask a few? Maybe it will help you.
I think there's just like a long pause before Cassius looks up at Graves, because he does have to look up. It's so weird to have to look up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the very first question in his mind is, can you undo? And then he just like gestures at like his fangs again.
Graves kind of tilts his head, like leans his head down in a conceding sort of motion, and says, the nature of your transformation is one that I cannot undo.
Cassius doesn't like that answer.
It is.
I mean, it's
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, like I feel like just like at that, you like because he has like the moth fluff now, it kind of bristles, kind of angrily.
Graves does continue after a moment with, and besides, even if I could, this is a lesson you must learn. He does not elaborate beyond that. He leaves it at that.
Cassius is just like still bristled, still kind of frustrated. Like, then what do you suppose I do? What do I have to do in order to learn that lesson? And he like uses one of his hands to do the air quotes while the other is still holding Simon.
Graves kind of, you get the impression he is smiling beneath the mask. Do you recall what gave you this curse?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Does he recall?
Does he?
That is the question.
It's story check.
Yeah, come on.
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
The details might be fuzzy.
Yeah, that's why does he recall?
Okay, let's roll for that.
21!
He thinks about it a lot. Yeah. I think Cassius doesn't say anything, but he does do like a little nod.
Mm-hmm. So now here's my follow-up question as Hex. Is that him remembering who gave him the curse, or the events that led him to getting the curse?
I don't know. Because, like, the thing is, like, Cassius has a very different perspective on the events that led up to said curse.
That's why I'm like...
probably both
more
thoughts are a little intermingled in some way. Like, he remembers the events, but his own version of the events. So obviously he remembers the person who gave him the curse. Through his own mind,
he remembers,
perception
He
of
remembers what happened. He remembers who gave it to him. He does not realize he is at fault.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That is fair. That's fair.
He's not had the proper character development to realize he was at fault.
That's understandable, and that's
He
fine.
is a child.
He is a child. So Graves kind of, okay, so he does at least remember, like, he knows the dream did not, cloud that bit, which is, like, this is kind of Graves checking into it, ensure, like, okay. So he nods, and he says, You still remember what happened. In time you will figure out why, and maybe then you will take steps to correct. And then we will see what to do from there. But until then...
Cassius has to bite his cheek in order not to start going off, but he's biting his cheek and he's not going off.
Vibrating.
This is not the situation to go off. He learned that mistake already.
Yep. And Graves kind of, again, you get the impression of that smile, and it's, he doesn't say anything, but it's a very self-satisfied feeling, that's kind of radiating from him right now.
Cassius notices this, and he hates it.
We're the situation.
How's Simon doing?
Yeah, how's Simon doing?
You wanna roll insight?
Sure.
You can roll insight too if you want.
Boy. 4.
Oh no.
Oh.
Cassius is a little bit wrapped up in himself right now.
You know what?
X, you wanna roll insight as Graves?
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see. I kind of want to make this a higher insight, but that's fine. 13.
Cool. I feel like that's once again enough. Like, Simon is easy to read. Unless he tries to hide it, and he doesn't try to hide it. He looks like no thoughts NMT, but not in the funny way.
Oh.
In the actual, he's listening to all of this and half processing it, and really just focusing on what he's hearing.
He doesn't have all the context.
He does not.
He does not, but from what he's hearing, don't worry about it.
It's not a pleasant situation.
It's not a pleasant situation, but Cassius is still getting the paps on the arms.
Aww.
Graves, glances down at Simon, and back up to Cassius, and after a moment, he knows the answer, but he's gonna pose it anyway, because, you know, sometimes it's better just to get it out in the open. You have not explained your situation to your little friend, I see.
Like, there's just that strange sound, because, like, it's like Cassius, like, realizes that he hasn't done that, and they're in the middle of having this whole explanation.
Yep.
And, like,
Simon immediately perks up because he's being talked about.
Yeah.
He does the dog thing, his little antennae go up, because, oh, they're talking about me.
Cassius, like...
He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
That's literally what Simon says, is like, he doesn't have to.
Aww.
That's his life.
Cassius does not know what to think about that. He's just thinking, like, what? Like, he was literally, like, about to start explaining, and then he's like, wait, I don't have... Oh, what?
Moth boy confused.
You've confused the moth, Simon.
One of the antennas just, like, kind of drooped in, like, something that suggests confusion.
Aww.
Actually, it probably, like, droops into view, and, like, Cassius kind of blinks and, like, takes notice of that. And then he takes his free hand to, like, slightly tug at it, and he looks up at Graves like, okay, I get the whole you turning me into a vampire thing. What is this? This is new.
Yeah, you're a little moth boy now.
And I understand that, and I must admit I am extremely frustrated by this fact.
Graves actually laughs. My apologies. That is a side effect of being part of the carnival in a sense of the word. You
Part
will...
of the... Okay.
And Graves looks down at Simon as he explains this.
Uh-huh.
When you were given that curse, I gave it to you. And I am I am the ringmaster of this carnival. And to put it in a term that you would understand, you are a thrall, in a sense. And so...
Immediate cringe on their faces.
The moth fur that's around his neck bristles so much that it's just an orb. He hates that.
Oh. Baby!
It's fine, it's cool, still.
And Graves does not stop. He keeps going. And so, as such, when you are in my domain, your mind subconsciously is trying to match.
I'm gonna roll a d2.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna roll a d2.
That's a 1.
I don't like the one. The one is never good.
Cassius is turning around and trying to leave. He's had enough of this.
Make a wisdom save.
Oh no!
Would I have to make it a disadvantage at all or not? Because
I'm thinking. I would say yes.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Roll it at disadvantage. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, that's
you
bad.
did not need the disadvantage. So Graves like seems a little surprised, like as he just turns, leaves. There's a moment of surprise, and then ringing in your head, you hear you just hear it in your head and around you. Stop, get back here.
Oh, great.
I mean, he's gonna do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna stop in place.
If Cassius does that, hey Hex,
Yep.
can Simon grow bigger?
Yes, Simon can grow bigger.
Because Simon is gonna grow bigger and grab Cassius and leave.
Oh my god.
Because he's not affected.
Oh my god. Oh, fucking incredible.
It's too late, you did this.
I did do this.
Like,
And it's
I feel
great.
like when Simon grows, he's like around Graves' height.
Mm-hmm.
But that means he's still very long because that's just the height from his front fit to
Yeah.
the top of his
Head.
head.
Yeah.
But there's still all the
Yeah.
body behind.
Yeah. So as you do this and you start to make your way out, you cannot leave these back alleys.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He's gonna climb in the stalls. He's got little buck feet, and they're made to climb.
They are made to climb on the stalls. This is true. So here's a fun thing. Here's a fun thing.
Uh-oh.
You crest the top of the stalls, and that's all you see. The forest is gone. The wall you saw that marked the borders is gone. It is just a sea of tents, maze-like in structure, as far as the eye can see.
Oh, great.
And as you look, you still see the center ringmaster's tent, very close to you. But then the night sky that was above you is no longer a night sky of stars and lights. It is now just a black void, and you see pulsing along it in a steady rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, are what seem to be veins.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. Loved it. Fun. In a nice fun parallel.
Mhm.
In a nice fun parallel, Simon holds Cassius in front of him.
Mhm.
He's just like,
this whole
okay.
time as Cassius has been dragged along, he's been like, just like cursing out and growling.
Yeah.
Just the whole way.
Simon is just like, okay, you've been here before. Why don't we leave?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I didn't leave conventionally the last time I was here. I turned. He like gestures at himself again. I turned into this. That's how I left the last time.
Okay, cool, great, fun. We're gonna find a way to leave. Okay.
You
And he's
hear
just
from
gonna start
below.
walking.
You hear from below you. You do not leave unless I permit you to leave.
Bitch, you clearly see he's not having a good time.
Yes, I see that. He did not have a good time the last time he came here. And we clearly need to have a talk.
And you clearly see that he does not want to have the talk anymore.
That is not his choice to make anymore. And Graves is now in front of you. Like, you blink
Oh,
and
great.
he's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Cassius shrieks.
You are being held.
Graves' arms are still folded. Like, he hasn't, like... Aside from his voice, there is no sign of aggression or anything here. He has just been calm and collected this whole time. And
Simon's not gonna try to attack or anything, so you're fine.
yeah, he's standing in front of you, and he looks at you, Simon, and again is addressing you. Your friend here has a very, very hard lesson to learn based on his behavior the last time he visited my carnival.
He's a kid. You're really doing that to a kid?
It is a very
Quite fucked up, if you ask me.
It is a very simple lesson to learn, I assure you. Maybe if he tells you what happened, you'll see. Or I could just show you, if you would rather.
I would rather not know something that Cassius does not want me to know.
Very well.
Mm.
And
Simon sure had a past. Don't worry about that. Anyways.
Graves again dips his head in an agreement. But he simply says, "It is a rather simple lesson to learn, I can assure you. But for one with his status, it might take some time. He still has growing to do, after all."
Cool. Can we leave now?
I have one bit of business with him that I need to discuss. Which is
great.
why I originally brought you here. And Graves' attention turns back to you, Cassius. And he approaches. He doesn't get, again, he does not get in your space. It's slow. It's not sudden. He just approaches and very... I'd almost say business-like, but it's a clear from his voice this is a serious matter. And he just very calmly says, "You are currently in a location known as Bottomless Heights, are you not?"
Cassius, this whole time he has been just like absolutely listening to these two as they conversed,
Mhm.
had their own little discussion.
Yep.
And he went uncharacteristically quiet at the mention of, status. But now that he's being addressed again, he kind of his ears just kind of like do that little perk up that maybe a cat's would do.
Yep. Oh, I'm being talked to.
And, yeah, and he just does like a long nod. Yes, I've been staying there for the past few weeks.
And Graves nods and just says, I need you to stay there for a little longer. There is something going on that I need to keep an eye on, and it would be easier to do so if I had you there.
That is not what I expected. Like Cassius just says that absently.
I understand based on, well, everything that has happened, that is a surprise, but there is something growing, and it seems to have its sights set there.
Mm.
And I need...
Are you...
Oh, go ahead.
Because, like, Cassius he doesn't know all the pieces, but he just does know one potential piece, so he's just asking, do you mean the radios, the signal that was there at the campsite?
No.
Or is it something else?
This is something else. Though
that's not reassuring.
Yeah, no shit.
That was a rather... I'm glad that was dealt with. That was a problem I did not foresee, because that is not within my realm. And that also made it hard for us to communicate. But now that is dealt with, there is something... And Graves seems to, like... Roll insight for me, both of you.
Cool. Oh boy. Okay, insight it is.
Damn, Simon! Yeah, you got it.
Oh, nice!
Hey, nice! Alright!
Hey, baby!
Hell yeah, we love to see it! Alright, so... Cassius, you catch that, Graves' fist, not fist, because his hands are behind him, but his posture straightens in a way that you definitely recognize as, oh, that's Angie, that's mad.
Oh, he's pissed off.
Oh, he's mad. Yeah, Simon, you definitely catch the frustration and, hatred in his voice.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, whatever he is talking about, oh, he fucking hates it. And he keeps, there is an entity that is making moves, and I am unable to act in the waking world, but I need to keep an eye on it. And if I am able to aid you or others there, then I would wish to do so in any way. But I need you there to do that.
I think Cassius thinks on this for a long bit before he nods, because that makes sense. That does make sense. You can see the logic behind that. And that he's had the experience of very dangerous entities gestures to the signal again. Yep. He is of the, okay, maybe we should prevent that opinion of things.
Yeah.
Because the signal was already bad enough. If this is something that is making Graves this mad, something that Cassius is like, okay, that's something to be worried about.
Yeah.
Man.
And
So
yeah, go ahead.
you want us to look into this? I understand. Correct? If I understand correctly?
You do not need to look into it. You may if you wish. I just need you to stay there.
Understandable.
You might not recall this dream when you wake. That is the nature of the carnival. But I can assure you this desire to stay will still remain.
I figured as much. And just like the little antennas are drooping, just kind of tiredly.
Yeah. Graves, one hand comes from underneath the cloak, and kind of gestures at the air. Think of it this way, Cassius. If you aid me like this, it will be one step closer to undoing this curse you have.
Oh, now he looks more interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm. And,
he's 100% on board.
yeah.
Oh no.
You get the...
You don't even need to roll insight.
Yeah.
It's just immediate interest. The
Yeah.
silly eyes.
Yep.
No!
It's the bad silly eyes, oh no!
Bad! I swear! Shoot!
And, Graves you get, again, another smile, like... And this one it isn't malicious. It's actually pleased. You get a very pleased smile. And Graves, again, dips his head in that nod. I am pleased that you agree. And as for you, my large friend, and he again looks back up to Simon, I feel that it does not need to be stated, but... For the record, I have no intention of harming the boy. Ever.
You fucking better.
I have every intention of keeping him safe. He is, after all, a ward of mine now.
Cassius is being held tighter. Now, that's his physical. Don't talk.
Graves kind of laughs. I have no intention of taking him from you. Besides, I have already staked my claim.
Mm-hmm. He's not a
Cassius is just sitting here.
He is just sitting here while these two politely
It's too late, Cassius.
These two are politely fighting over him. How do you feel?
Mostly confused. Why are people fighting over him? This is never a thing that happens.
It's too fucking late. It's happening now, bitch.
God.
Listen, Simon has his reasons. It's fine.
It's fine. Graves just like... God. Graves laughs a little, but, he makes another motion of, like, follow me. I have stated all of the business that I wished to discuss with you. You are free to leave the carnival if you choose. I will show you the way.
I feel like Cassius just like looks up at Simon.
Yeah.
And then
Simon
does
looks
like a
back.
little just like does like a little pat, okay, put me down.
You are being gently placed down. Simon is still big.
Yeah. Big.
Big boy.
He's still big boy.
Oh gosh, I'm just like imagining them like getting to the more populated parts of the carnival, and now there's a big worm.
Big worm.
It simply does not care.
Good, because the people, like, the carnival, like, the other people in the carnival, definitely fucking, like, see Simon and are very clearly like, oh my gosh, this is new. In that, like, new fucking, new attraction kind of way. Like, oh, new worker.
I mean, to be fair, Simon is kind of fun, like.
Yeah. He fits the aesthetic of the carnival.
He does, except for the bright red.
Except for the bright red. Yeah, Simon, you have, like, kids running up to you.
Aww. Okay, that's cute, actually.
Yeah!
Simon is taking just a little bit of time with the kids, but is not losing sight of the others because living.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Have a nice.
But also children.
Graves is, slowing down to let the kids have a look. Yeah.
Cassius is also slowing down, surprisingly, because the slightest little bit of character development he got from the camp is that he's more okay with kids.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
You don't need to roll this. This is a pretty obvious thing. Graves's demeanor softens considerably around kids. And he gets a little more flamboyant and loud, like, you know, as you would expect of a ringmaster, as he, you know, talks to the kids and is, like, letting them basically be like, ooh, strange thing, is it scary, you know, will it eat me, will it fucking, like, is it dangerous, and, like, Graves making exaggerated, you know, like, only if you're not fast enough, you need to run, and then the kids run away, like, happily screaming. Kind of deal.
I would like you to know that just for the kids, Simon is playing along.
Yay!
Aww.
Yay!
Because it's too good.
It's good. I love that.
And also because the situation has de-escalated and they can leave, so it's fine.
It's fine now, and there are children, and it's getting better, and they are. You would note you're approaching the main tent, and Graves, again, he still is that, like, he's still got that same softened demeanor, and, now it's directed at Simon, because Simon played along, and so he's like, okay.
Simon can be bastard and a little bit of an asshole, but he's still a good guy.
He's still a good guy, and we love to see it. He's just protective of his boy.
Yeah.
I feel like during that whole interaction, Cassius was just kind of standing off to the side. Maybe like there's like the hints of like a softened posture.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, with this boy.
So
but I like to think it's broken by a little bug landing on his shoulder or something.
Oh, see, no, I had a cuter idea. One of the kids walks up to Cassius and is just like, are you part of the carnival too? Are you a Moth?
Oh.
Cassius has to struggle not to get mad.
Oh.
No. Just, you know what? He's just gonna play along too.
Good.
just like a very like a little nod, and he like bends down a little bit, like kind of as a you want to touch the antenna.
Oh my gosh, this kid's eyes light up like.
Good.
Can I feel them? Are they soft and fuzzy?
Very much so. Yeah.
And one hand
tilts his head a little bit.
One hand reaches up, and they don't grab. It just kind of like touches briefly, and then their hand jerks back, and they giggle, and they run off. Like
this is the cutest thing.
Shouting to their friends, like, "He let me touch him! He let me touch him!"
That's so cute. Oh.
Oh, good.
No.
Graves is visibly
He's dead.
Beaming at you, Cassius.
If Cassius notices, he like notices and then immediately is like, okay, we're going now.
Anyways.
Immediately back to Grumpy.
Immediately back to Grumpy, but Graves saw that, and Graves will remember that.
It's too late.
It's too late.
But
It's too late.
they know you're soft. Graves leads you guys to the main tent and gestures you inside in a sort of in a gesture that definitely is like a final goodbye kind of deal. And he says, "I do hope you will remember tonight, but we shall see. Oh, as well, and then the little bug flitters by again, because yeah, it's been there this whole time, hovering out of your reach, or out of your sight, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
This will act as my eyes while you are awake. So do not be surprised when you see him darting around your vision."
Ah. And Cassius just gives a nod again. And looks at the little bug and squints.
The little bug squints back, sticks its tongue out.
Okay,
blab,
that's cute.
sticks its tongue
That's
out. Blab,
cute.
and
God.
Graves actually extends a hand to you, Simon,
Oh.
to shake.
Handshake.
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 Yeah. Handshake. They're doing it.
They're doing a handshake. Hell yeah, they're being people.
People.
They're being civilized.
They are being civilized, by God.
Which is really surprising for Simon.
But Graves, shakes his hand. "I don't need to ask you to do so. I will merely thank you for looking out for the boy."
Mm-hmm. No problem. I mean, it's not like he can get out of my sight.
Yes, but you might be a good influence for him.
Oh.
And Graves gives Cassius a sidelong glance.
They are. I hope
The
you know
dead
that
man's
Simon
this boy has.
Simon did do tail wags. Don't worry about that.
Oh.
Good. And Graves looks at you, Cassius. Let me roll an insight just to see. This is to determine how open to any kind of because it's only polite to shake your hand, and so with a 14, does he tweak that you would accept a handshake?
I think Cassius would.
Okay.
Because this last little bit of the carnival has actually been a pretty decent experience, so he's more open to it.
Yeah.
Than he would have been.
Yeah. And Graves extends a hand to you as well, Cassius.
Cassius will shake it.
Yep. Should you need to return, you need only to ask the little bug. I
Very well.
will be happy to answer questions for you, but I cannot directly help you outside of this realm. And
Just a nod of understanding.
Yep. And I wish you good luck.
There's a long beat of silence before Cassius. Thank you, I suppose.
You will need it in the coming days, I can assure you.
It's my disclosure.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. That's not ominous at all. And with that,
Cassius is used to it.
Yep. And with that, Graves lets the tent flap close, and you two are plunged into darkness.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. And
Yay, darkness!
Yay, darkness! Yeah, darkness! And you're free to awaken if
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a very
Yeah.
important question, X.
Yes.
I am also Blaze because I am in the gallery. Anyways, uh, considering the special situation of Simon being inside of Cassius's brain,
Mm-hmm.
how much will you remember about the carnival?
I would say he would remember probably a little more than Simon, or a little more than Cassius,
Mm-hmm.
because he exists not. His
Yeah, he's
existence
not.
is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, now
at this
Simon
point
is
in
in a kind
time,
of limbo.
at
Yeah.
this point in time, he's not physical and he's not digital. He is
Yeah.
mental.
That's why it's
Limbo.
like he's in a weird limbo, so I feel like he would remember
Mhm.
more than Cassius if Cassius
Mhm.
forgets anything. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Huh.
cool. That's great.
Although probably the moment Simon is more digital or more physical, whoop, bye.
Maybe, possibly. Like, I doubt it would. It's not going to be a case like Marcel where he forgets everything immediately upon waking up because Cassius has a greater tie than Marcel does to the carnival.
Mhm. That's
Yeah,
right, it's cool,
he
so-
really does.
So, he's probably going to remember a fair bit of it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll actually
Man.
say he'll get an advantage on history checks to recall shit for the carnival, and Simon, same? Question mark? We'll worry about that.
Yes.
We'll worry about that later, but yeah.
Don't worry about it later. It's fine. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys wake up, and Cassius immediately wakes up to seeing the little bug sitting on his chest.
He does jump.
The little bug is just on his chest, staring at him, tongue blep. Bleh.
Simon is sitting on the other bed in the other room and he's just like, hey, what the fuck was that?
Hey, so that was fucked. What the hell?
Yeah, basically.
I feel like that's a conversation they can have off screen because Cassius
They
is just gonna give
can.
out the longest irritated sigh. Just give the little bug a few head pats.
Aww.
The good news is, Cassius, you are no longer a bug.
No, he's more thankful about that than you realize. He sees that he doesn't have any time, and he's so relieved.
Aww.
No longer bug.
No.
No longer bug.
No, the bug fluff. It's cat. Worst timeline.
Worst timeline. Cassius loses the bug fluff. But yeah, do you guys have any other little bit that you want to do?
I think we're good.
I
Do you
think
wanna
we're
do
good,
anything?
yeah.
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 We'll fade
Let's
out
just-
there.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cassius now has another new mental friend to keep him company.
Mental buddy.
A mental bug buddy.
This FPS turned out a lot softer than I thought it
Mhm.
Yeah.